Huh? Yeah. Smoke alarms don't go off.
We believe that life is better connected, and our aim is to help our young people find genuine friends and a supportive community. We also think that the best way to navigate this COVID season is by engaging together in smaller groups. We would love to help get them connected in this way by joining one of our Hangout groups. For any questions or further information, just email youth@forgechurch.com or check out the Forge website.
Hello and welcome to Motion Live. We are so glad that you have joined us here tonight. I've said it before, I said it last week and I'll say it again. I love our online community. You guys are amazing. I love that you guys are involved in this and everything that we do. My name is Tim. I'm going to be with us for the next half an hour, 35 minutes or so, just walking us through a great program that we have got planned for you guys here. So when we first started, I think we had about 19 of you guys into Hangout groups. Now, last time I checked, we've got 38 different people in our Hangout groups. Isn't that just amazing? So if you guys are watching and you're not involved in one of our Hangout groups and you'd like to know a little bit more information about it, wait until the end and I'll give you a little bit more information about how you guys can connect into those Hangout groups. I'd love to know, have you enjoyed your week this week? Has it been a great week? So let us know in the chat. Have you enjoyed the snow this week? I love snow. I loved going out and snowball fights, going on the sledge. I've just loved it. I think it's been great. And I hope you guys have too. Now, I want to know in the chat if you've enjoyed it. So if you've enjoyed it, I want you to just put in the chat, #SnowYay. Okay, and if you hate the snow, if you just can't think of anything worse than the snow, then put in the chat hashtag snow way. Do you get what I'm saying there? Excellent. So write that in the chat. Now, earlier in the week, I asked some of you guys to send me some pictures of your snow experiences, your snow day experiences. So we've got a few of them to show right now. I thought I'd show a few of ours first in our family. So me and the boys went out for a walk one day, and this is on the video. So let's have a look at them now. Look at them. Yeah, they went for a bit of a snow roll. Excellent. Cool. And then Dylan decided that he wanted to be buried in snow. So he went on the trampoline and we proper buried him in the snow. He said it was nice and warm. I don't really believe him, but he said it was anyway. Okay, so the Austin family also sent in some pictures. So this is their igloo. They've got a great igloo. That's amazing. They also sent in a good picture of their snowman. I think we've got that coming up as well. Oh, no, that's not their snow. That's their snowman. Okay, then we've got the Fairweathers who you just saw, Jacob. That's a great... I'm guessing Jacob pretending that was a goalkeeper and probably scored a few goals. And then his brother Samuel. Let's have a look at his. Nice, excellent. Well done, guys. Now, the best one, in my opinion, now someone that put a lot of effort into it. There was a lot of you that made some igloos, but none, I would say, better than Isaac's effort. So let's take a look at Isaac Kalesa. Let's have a look at his video.
So this is my dome. Took like all day. Haven't finished the entrance. But like quite big. You could sleep in it. Probably doesn't look big on camera though. Yeah.
Fair play to you, Isaac. That is impressive. You know, that must have taken you a long time to do. I saw a lot of other people have started to do him, so well done for all you guys who built one. I saw the Cobol's done one as well, so that is amazing. Well done. So we're now going to go into the second lot of fixtures that we've got in the first round of our not our knock and fun, that's a different one. Our Rock, Paper, Scissors World Cup, Motion World Cup. So let's take a look at the second 8 fixtures in round 1. Let's have a look. Cool. So through to the next round, we've got Jake, Cora, Will, Betty, Isaac, Phoebe, Elise, and Megan. And they join Xanthi, Mia, Jacob, Summer, Megan, Noah, Izzy, and Leah into the next round. So we're going to do the draw right now in our true FA Cup style. So we've got our ping pong balls here with all the numbers in the screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see in the screen now. You've got your numbers. So let's go for it. Who's going to be the first one? So we've got number 12. Hang on, let me put that down there so you can see it. Number 12. Who's number 12? We've got Betty. Who will she be facing? She will be facing number 5, Megan Warnock. Okay, we've got number 3, which is Jacob. Is going to be facing number 1, which is Mia. Excellent. What we got next? We've got number... Oh, I don't know if that's 6 or 9. I think that's a 9. So let's go for number 9, who's Jake. And that's going to be against number 6, who's Noah. Okay, this one is number 16. And that is other Megan. And then we're going against number 7, which is Izzy. Okay, number 11 is Will. Oh, it'd be great if it was Elise. Oh, it's not though. It's number 13. It's Isaac. Okay, and we've got number 2. Who we got? Number 2, Xanthi is going against 10, which is Cora. And we've got 2 rounds left. 2 goes left. So number 8, we've got Leah is going against number 15, which is Elise. And then finally, we've got 14, which is Phoebe, against number 4, Summer. Hopefully that's all sorted. So we'll get all that sorted for next week. We'll hopefully get those ready for you next week. Let's have a look at see what's going on in the chat. Do a few shout outs. We've got the Austin family are watching. Hello, the Austin family. We love you, the Austin family. Izzy's watching. Levi's watching. Henry Hackett. Hello, Henry. Miss you, Henry. Amy is watching. Nice to see you. Amy, Xanthi, Zoe. Apologies at the start. Everybody could hear me, apparently. That's my fault. Okay, what have we got? Okay, so snows. Let's see what the people are saying. Snow, yay. Okay, what are we going? Sam Fenning is definitely a snow, yay. I've loved the snow this week. Built myself a snowball. I did see that, Sam. That is impressive. That is very good. Izzy, snow way. Don't hate it, but it's... Oh, come on, you're wrong. Mia, snow way. But not... Oh, come on, look, this is not great. A lot of people are loving Isaac's igloo, so that's impressive. So yeah, great. Thank you for all joining in with that. Excellent. So now we're going to head straight into the second talk in our series, which we've called Do Something. It's all about the injustices that we see in the world, and maybe they might be out inside, like in other countries, but also the injustices that are in and around us, in our schools, in our homes, and in our our friendship groups. So we're kind of learning about what God has to say about it and what He's asking us to do about these injustices. So let's go right into our talk. Growing up, I'm not really sure that I experienced injustice too much. Or maybe, if I'm truthful, like we talked about last week, I didn't see injustice. I didn't get close enough. I didn't listen and learn about the injustices that we have in this world. We've been talking about injustice the past couple of weeks, which we've defined as the things in our world that are not right, they're unfair, or they're unequal. I don't think I really started to understand injustice until I went on a trip that the church organised to Denver, Colorado, America. We've all seen in the news recently about the many injustices that are happening in America. But if I'm honest, before I went, which was over 10 years ago, I wondered if this was really an issue. Are there really going to be people in this great nation that are marginalised, treated unfairly? And how can homelessness be an issue in a country like America?
But seeing and working alongside the homeless community and discovering their stories about how they ended up on the streets of Denver, my eyes were opened. Injustice exists. Almost every story of those I spoke with started with them being mistreated in a family home, or leaving their job in the army with no support network to lean on, or just because of circumstances in their life, they find themselves homeless. Not only were there injustices in how they ended up on the streets, their lives were now full of being treated unfairly and not as an equal. Like this one lady who I met, who had it all. She had the American dream, a husband, car, home, children, a job, and in a blink of an eye, it all vanished for her. Her husband was arrested. She was left alone to look after her family. She lost her job because she needed to be at home to look after her kids. She lost her home and eventually she lost her kids. A few years later, she was stuck. The only thing left for her was life on the street. Drink and drug addictions, mental health issues, being raped regularly by so-called friends on the street. And the only way that she would feel clean was by bathing in a bath of bleach. It broke my heart. You see, it's painful to experience injustice, and it makes us ask those questions. Why doesn't somebody do something? Last week, we talked about how God sees and cares about what's happening. God is anti-injustice, and part of following Jesus means that we care about the things that he cares about, enough to do something. So if you're experiencing injustice or have experienced injustice, what do you do? What do you do when you feel like you're alone in that? With that in mind, I want to tell you a true story about 3 friends and what happened to them. You see, there was a Babylonian king named Nebuchadnezzar who was very powerful, and he conquered and captured Israel. One day, he built a giant golden statue that stood 90 feet tall and ordered everyone to bow down to worship the statue whenever they heard certain music playing. If they chose not to do this, they were ordered to be thrown into a blazing fire. The Bible tells us that there were 3 Jewish men named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego who were worshippers of God, and they refused to bow down to the statue. You can probably guess the king wasn't thrilled by this news, and he ordered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be brought to him. He gave them one more chance to bow down and worship the statue when the music played, or they would be thrown into the fire. But these 3 men stood their ground. They believed that God could rescue them. But even if he didn't, they didn't want to turn on their devotion to him. What an incredible example of courage and faith. So, of course, the king is in full rage mode now and orders the fire to burn 7 times hotter than usual. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are tied up and thrown into the fire. The furnace was so hot that the soldiers that threw the men into the fire died instantly from coming near to the flames. Now look, I get none of us have been thrown into fires recently, but I think we can agree that this feels unfair. And many of us do know what it feels like to be treated unfairly. Maybe you've been discriminated against the colour of your skin, mocked because of a disability, treated like you are less than because of family finances, held back because of your gender, considered less important because of something we have absolutely no control over. And if you've experienced this, you know it can be scary, frustrating, and sad. These guys, I'm sure, felt all of those things. Now let's continue with the story. I want you to see what happens next after they were in the fire. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leapt to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men that were tied up and thrown into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, your majesty." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like the son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the high God, come out, come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was the hair on their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Now, there are so many Bible scholars and researchers who have opinions about this story and who the 4th man in the fire was. Was he God? Was he Jesus? Was it an angel or someone else? You know, I don't know the answer, but one thing is clear. In a moment of extreme injustice, they were not alone. God did not abandon them or leave them to suffer on their own. And in the same way, you are never alone when you face injustice. Let that sink in. When you experience injustice, you don't have to face it alone. God cared about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and made sure that they weren't alone in their suffering or their injustice. Did things change eventually? Yes. Did the laws change as a result of the injustice? Yes. But don't miss what happened even while they were suffering. God cared for them. And in the same way, God cares about you and doesn't want you to be alone when you face injustice. Maybe you hear this story and you feel the injustice part. Maybe you are so tired, so hurt, burnt by the things you've experienced. I want you to know that you don't have to be alone. God is with you. He hears you. If you're processing that for the first time or just don't know what to do next, here are some steps for you to consider. Talk to Jesus. He cares maybe even more than you realise. Share your feelings of frustration, confusion, or hurt. Remind yourself over and over that you are not alone. Remember that He will send others to be with you. Talk to your hangout group leader or talk to a trusted friend or adult. Even if you think they won't understand, keep talking until someone does. Consider talking to your family about getting help from a professional counsellor or mentor, who can help you process the injustice you've experienced and begin to heal. Keep moving. The guys in the fire didn't give up. Let's be honest, you shouldn't have to do anything about the injustice that is affecting you. Others should step in for you. Generations older than you should have figured out this by now. It's unfair, all that is true. But at the same time, doing nothing isn't always helpful, so keep moving. Some of you, however, may have heard the story and thought, I haven't experienced injustice. Does that mean I'm like the evil king who caused the injustice? Well, maybe, but probably maybe not. Or perhaps it makes you feel like the people in the crowd who stood and watched while this was happening. We all participate in injustice in some way, often by allowing it to happen while we watch. Maybe you didn't throw somebody in the fire, but maybe you laugh along when you hear a racist joke. Watch people get bullied, but don't say anything. Listen to music that's degrading to women. Shop from the stores that use child labourers to create their products. If that's you, I want you to know you can still talk to God about that too. Ask God to help you see ways that you've participated in injustice. This is so important because the truth is some of the people you know that you care about, friends from school or people in your hangout group, have been on the receiving end of injustice. And maybe for the first time you see it differently and you care differently because of how it affects them. Let it become personal to you. When injustice happens, it's painful, but you don't have to do something alone. Not only is God with you, but so are the people in your hangout group too. That's why we have these groups. We want you to have a group of people who are for you. We want you to have a group of people who are listening to you, praying with you, and learning from you, and cheering for you. In your groups, the conversation you have today has the potential to be one of the most honest, personal, and important discussions that you've ever had. If you've experienced injustice, think about how you can let the group know that they need to support you. If you haven't experienced injustice, think about how you can listen and genuinely care for someone in your group. This may sound like a lot right now, and I get it. Even if you don't talk to your whole group tonight, I hope you'll talk to your leader. They signed up to do this because they want to be here for you. And maybe today they can be the real human reminder that when you experience injustice, you don't have to face it alone.
Let me just pray. Yeah, dear God, I just know that there's some of us that are watching here tonight that are experiencing injustice in some way, whether that's through our own personal experiences or whether that's through experiences of others. And Lord, for those people, it's hard and it's hurt, and we're going through so much pain and hurt. And like we've learnt tonight, Lord, that you are there with us. You are in the fire. You are holding back those flames from us. You are protecting us in those times. And I pray that you'll really help us to remember that. Help us to lean on you. Help us to be who you want us to be in those times. Help us to lean on the people that you've surrounded us with, our hangout group leaders, trusted adults, friends. Help us to really lean on them at this time. For others, though, Lord, we're not experiencing those things and we haven't experienced injustice in ourselves or in other areas of our lives. For those people, Lord, I pray that you'll open our eyes, like we learned about last week, open our eyes and break our hearts for what breaks your hearts. Thank you for this story that we can learn so much about who you are and about who you love and how you love us. I pray these things in your name. Amen. Yeah, guys, I really encourage you, if you are going through hurt at the moment, if you're going through any kind of experience of injustice, I really encourage you, like we said in the talk, to kind of talk to people that you trust. Your hangout group leader is there for you for those times, exactly what they're here for. Talking about hangout groups now, it's your opportunity to go into your hangout groups. Like I said earlier on, if you're not involved in your hangout groups, I'd love you to be involved. I'd love you to join us with these hangout groups. You can head over to our Instagram page, which is Forge Youth UK, and there's a direct link in our bio there, which will give you information about the hangout groups and how you can get connected in and signed up to those groups. If you still want a little bit more information, I'd love to talk to you. So email me at youth@forgechurch.com, and I'd love to have a conversation to help you get connected in. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic week, a safe week, and we will see you here again next week.